Hello everybody, it's Christine. It is time for BoBunny Stash Bash. At least I think it is, because last month I managed to do 2. I must have got my days all mixed up. So y'all got to see 2 last month. So hopefully I didn't screw up. Anyway, this month. So here's my photo. It's at the beach. This is my spousal unit, and he was chitter-chattering. I think this is actually a screenshot of a video, to be honest with you. But I just love like the water, and of course it's the beach, because the collection I have, if you remember last month's, if I can get it out of here, it was like key lime and sunshine or something like that. It's a 2013 collection, and you can see I still have, all these little stickers. I actually have a bunch of ephemera, rub-ons, some more stickers. The funny thing is, it's not summertime, you guys. This was Christmas. So it's a little tricky because there's summertime reference, but it's not summer. It is definitely Christmas. So, but no worries. We got that. And then have all these papers here, you guys. I don't know what I'm going to do just yet. I do not know what I'm going to do just yet. Because I have a trillion pieces of paper here. I'm kind of like, I may need to sort these just a bit. I think I've got some duplicates that I don't have touching or something. Like, see here, I got these 2 and they're the same. And I don't have them next to each other. This could be fun to use. Or do I fussy cut this out? And, I mean, that might make sense, right? So, yeah, I need to go through this and figure out what I'm going to do. And then I will come back on. All right. Okay, you guys, quick check-in, only because I've sorted my papers. And I'm going to just mat the crap out of it, you guys. I'm going to just triple mat and all the things. I'm going to frame and all the stuff. I love this yellow. I just love this yellow. And I like it laying up against this stuff here. So I'm going to frame this. And then I have this green that I think I'm going to put here. And then I look at these arrows. This is kind of neat. I think I'm going to cut this apart and make the arrows kind of go across the green. I've got this photo here. I'm going to mat it, I think, like this. And then, of course, I have all this. And I'm thinking I might cut this out, like fussy cut this out and have this be like my title or something, because it's my You Are My Sunshine. So I'm thinking I'm going to do that. So let me cut these things up and I'll be back on. Okay, you guys. So I actually forgot to turn the camera back on, but in hindsight, it's probably fine. So I got asked, I don't know how many videos back, y'all, because I'm recording all kinds of orders here. Somebody said, hey, where's Saturn? Well, she was just up in the top corner up there. I've been recording kind of in the morning still. I don't know. She gets up and she wants her treat. So I give her treat. I will say it's been cold, so I think she's napping more. So she's just been kind of hanging out on the couch in the living room, y'all. Nothing's wrong with her or nothing. She's just not been hanging out in here with me. Plus, I think I hurt her feelings. I mentioned this not too long ago because I kept making her move one day. She kept sitting right in my stuff, and I tried to put her in her little spot, and she didn't want to be in her little spot. I think maybe, if I'm honest with you, it's because her little spot, my table is right next to the window, and maybe it's cooler. I really don't know. So she hasn't come in here just a whole lot bothering me, and I don't know if it's because she got mad at me or if it's just cold by the window and she doesn't like to be like that. So what I've done is I have taken the yellow piece and I've cut it into 11.5 square, and I'm going to mount that. I am not getting anything, obviously, because this is a 2013 collection and I got to use it up. And then I picked out that green and I made it a, oh gosh, you guys, I can't remember if it's 8x8 or I think it's an 8x8. And then I decided to go ahead and frame it as well, mat it as well. I didn't initially plan to, but then I thought it looked kind of funny by itself. So I went looking for a little blue piece of paper and I mounted it. And then I did cut those arrows into strips, but I did cut the arrow ends of it, but then a couple of them, I realized they looked a little funny. The shape wasn't exactly an arrow, so I'm kind of cleaning that up here. I wanted to make sure it was wide enough to go across my square there. And initially I had them kind of evenly spread across the height of the square, but I'm going to end up compacting those a little bit and overlapping them. See, I'm looking at that and I'm going, okay, what if I wonk them? And I thought, no, they're a little too far apart because I want my picture to go over the top of them. See, I'm checking that and I go, no, you need to come back together. So I'm going to kind of put these together. I'll cut away in just a second because all it is next for the next second or two is me putting them together and just gluing them down. A little bit overlapped, a little bit not, just a little bit wonky. So this is the last little bit of me gluing those down. And then I'm going to end up getting into the fussy cut stuff. I really don't get too much into the ephemera. I do pull a couple pieces out. There's a little piece that says surf, and it's like little surfboards, and there's a beach ball. I'll pull it out. But first, I'm going to pull out this sun here that I mentioned to you. I'm going to cut this out. I'm going to cut away in just a second because I will fussy cut it out. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut in between the little rays as well. Now, that might come across when I start putting it at the top of the photo. You're going to think, well, gosh, you can barely see it yellow on yellow. But since I cut the blue out between, I will actually put foam up under the rays, and it lifts it and it gives it a shadow. So it does actually show up pretty good on the layout. I'm hopeful it shows up on camera. To be honest, I don't remember now. You can kind of see it up there. I don't think I've glued it down though. Here's also, there was a little piece of, on the cut aparts, there was like a little like postage stamp looking thing with these flip-flops. And I cut it out, and I'm using this hole punch to kind of go along the side of it. The only challenge here is that hole punch is kind of old, and I don't think it's very sharp, and it doesn't cut my holes real good. So I end up having to come along and kind of pull these little guys out. Honestly, with a good hole punch, that wouldn't be the case. It's just a really old, cheap hole punch. I think I got it in a set at Michael's like 15 years ago. So it's hanging out, though. And I'm going to tuck that up underneath the photo. I haven't glued the photo down yet, y'all. I think I will in just a second. That's where I finalized that little piece there. There's a little surfboard and the beach ball. You can kind of see that in the top. I'm not going to tell you this is a really highly embellished layout. There's a ton of ephemera or a ton of in the noteworthy, but they're all kind of, they just really didn't work. So I don't use really much of those. I've also pulled a bunch of the wordy stickers. They're on that little acrylic block right there to the right. And I'm going to end up building out a little cascade of words on the bottom down there. So, but first I'm going to put my little foam pieces up underneath these sun rays. So I'll tell you real quickly about this picture. So this picture was taken on Christmas Day this past year. One of our excursions, or the Christmas Day excursion we chose, was snorkeling, and then we stopped at like a beach, and then there was like these ginormous inflated obstacle course things. And of course, my husband loves that stuff, you guys. I mean, my goodness, this man is a adrenaline junkie. And him and my daughter's fiance, you know, who's 22, or yeah, he's 22 now. He was 21 at the time, technically, because it was a few days before his birthday. But anyways, they definitely had the best time. They're like kids. I mean, honestly, they were jumping on those things and climbing the things and jumping off into the water. And it was kind of funny. And this was just one point where he kind of come up on the beach and was just, I don't know. This is actually a screenshot of a video where he'd come up and was just kind of talking at me about this obstacle course or something like that. You can kind of see my foot in the bottom of the picture, just barely, where I'm kind of chilling. Because I think beaches are made for kind of chilling, you know. I'm just saying. Okay, so I've put my little sunshine, and the title, of course, is going to be You Are My Sunshine. That's basically my title here. Not basically, it is the title, because everything else is little bitty words. But I found a bunch of little stickers there, and I'm going to add them, a couple of them to the bottom of the photo. I will actually take a date stamp and add the date to that little postage stamp looking thing. So I thought, well, that's a perfect little journaling spot for that. And then I did find in the ephemera, there's a little round circle that said Ocean Breeze and then a little fish. I don't know if there was any others of those. I had duplicates of everything, except I didn't keep looking because it was kind of little, and I was digging around and it just kind of came to the top of my pile of stuff, and I thought, oh, those are cute. So here's what I got. I put on, so my words, if you can't read them, I'll just read them to you real quickly. It says vacation, barefoot. There's sun, swim, paradise, sand, cruising, cowabunga, surf, and sea. And I think those are perfect. There was actually one that I did not use. I did not end up using anyway. It was Life is Sweet, I think. Honestly, it was because it was yellow, and how I had kind of organized these things. I didn't find a good spot for it. Like, it wasn't gonna fit physically, like fit and make sense. So I do put the Ocean Breeze and the little fish thing up on foam. The right side of the little postage stamp in a second, I'm going to put on foam. And then, of course, I put the sun rays up on foam. I think I also added a little foam up underneath the top of the surf, little piece of ephemera. Then, I don't think I've pulled them out just yet, but I'm going to run off and get some brads. I got it in my head. I was actually going to use sequins originally, but I just recently got, I think I shared it on my Instagram story, but I just recently got my very first Spiegel Mom Scraps sequin order, and unfortunately none of the mixes were in this color palette. Like, nothing was going to work. Even if I tried to pick stuff out, I don't think it would have worked. So I said, nah, I'm not gonna try to mess up my Spiegel Mom Scraps there, because I'm precious about them right now, and I probably shouldn't be, because I already see myself buying more. But anyways, there's where I put the date on the little postage stamp there. And I will put, like I said, I'm going to use a little foam on the right-hand side of it, and I'll glue that in there. And this is where I got these brads, though. I remembered these brads. I don't know what made me think about them, but I knew I had them, and they're quite old as well. I don't know what collection they're from, probably something around this same time frame. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to put these on here. So I actually have been, there's one or two layouts recently where I did poke the hole through, but honestly, I don't really care to do that. So this one, I'll go ahead and pull off the little brads in a second. And I think I have already done that actually, because I can see them on the layout. Sorry, I cut away because it was taking me a minute. I pull off the brad pieces. Now I will tell you the adhesive piece for these brads in a minute, I end up using a couple different ones because I couldn't make the right decision. The little brads, because there's those little brad pieces, they are not flat backed. They have a little depression. And I thought, okay, well, I'll use my glossy accents. Well, if you don't put enough in there, then it just gets stuck up in the little depression. Well, then I put so much, I had a clear mess going behind the brad. I go, okay, that's not what I wanted either. So I kind of mess with these. I end up with a little Nuvo glue. I try Nuvo glue. Ultimately, I end up pulling in some foam, little foam pieces, because that was the best decision because they kind of went up into the depression and then held the brad onto the page. So I think this looks neat though. I do like the little pop of like silver, the little pop of metallic it adds to it. And one of the brads, actually, two of the brads technically have like a glitter on them, like a little turquoisey glitter. But I glue all these down. And then I've actually been watching, I forget now who it was, but she uses, a lot of people use, white paint splatter. No big deal, right? That's pretty normal. But she actually has like paint pens or something. Well, y'all, I had just cleaned out. I went through yesterday or day before and it cleaned out of this drawer that I had all these pens, you guys, way too many markers and pens. And I went through and I tested them all and everything. Well, in that drawer was actually a paint pen, a white paint pen. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to pull that out and try that little deal. And so that's what I did. I got my white paint there, and I'll take my little paintbrush, and I'm just going to sprinkle it around. It does make a finer mist, although this might be because of the paintbrush. I don't know now if it's because of the paint or the paintbrush. But I put a little mist of white all around the layout there, on the around the clusters. And then that's all I'm going to do the layout, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'm kind of encouraged by this collection, actually. I was a little bit worried. I'm like, oh my goodness, can I find any pictures? But I got lucky. We went to the beach for Christmas. So thank you so much for watching. Like I said, make sure to do the like and subscribe, and we will see you again soon. Bye.